We are the last generation of real humans. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. Welcome to the Gospel Truth channel. We're here to bring you some information. You can decide if you'd like to think. We're here to bring you to water. You can decide if you would like to drink. I spent 20 years as a full-time Christian minister. I'm a Bible college graduate. I have over 100,000 hours of study in the biblical text. And I believe that big-time religion is not the religion of the Christ, and that big-time religion is here to enslave you in a fear and guilt control matrix, and that you are suffering from spiritual Stockholm syndrome. It's much easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. I believe that we are not this body, that this body is the smallest part of who we are. The reality is within us, the spark of divinity that the Christ said is within. And yet we don't study anything about what happens when we leave this body. That's why this Sunday, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, this very Sunday, we have right here in Clearwater, Florida, a great event taking place. It's called What to Do When You Find You're Dead. It's a great time of talk, a great time of encouragement, a great time of inspiration. We have 5 great speakers planned for you. We have 5 great speakers scheduled for you. And as soon as I can find the graphic, I'm going to show it to you. And here it is. Let me go ahead and share my screen so you can see this. This will be this Sunday in Clearwater, Florida, starting at 10 a.m. We're going to have 5 great speakers. What to Do When You Find You're Dead, Extravaganza of Enlightenment. We'll have Dan from Overwatch Channel. We'll have Jenny Moonstone, tarot reader, and very poignant social and societal and cultural critic, Heidi Vandenberg, Vedic astrologer and life coach, yours truly. And then our keynote speaker, Rex Bear of the Leak Project, the man, the myth, the legend, the way of life, the eater of grandma's sandwiches. That's him, Rex Bear in the flesh, all live and in person, scheduled to appear this Sunday right here in Clearwater, Florida. If you do want to come, boy, it's tight, but we probably still have a space or two to squeeze you in. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com. Right on the front page, you can use that donate button, $50 per person. What a deal. It really is. It's a great, great value, and it'll be one of the most important seminars or discussions that you have ever been a part of, I guarantee you. Let's take a look at the chat room. Doc Illusion says Hanuman has arrived, Jeff. Check me out on Facebook. Let's don't just come straight out and spam the channel. Would still love to talk. Well, send me an email. You got my email. Can't make it back to Florida, but I'll be watching. Good for you. We hope that you will watch. We plan to have several many live streams going. I believe it'll be on Rex's channel, Heidi's channel, Dan's channel, my channel, and Wayne Steiger said that he may even live stream the event. So there's going to be a lot of places to watch it, but there won't be anything like being there live. Not sure if there's going to be a cost associated with any of that streaming yet. But anyway, Justin Rossi, can't wait to be here. Looking so forward to it. Good. I'm glad you are. So, ladies and gentlemen, the background, those are acoustic tiles because I'm very loud and I have to make my studio more soundproof so my neighbors don't get upset. So that's phase 1. That's a little costly, so that's why I'm doing it in phases. Eventually, the whole place is going to be covered like that. And I tell you what, if you come to the seminar, you might see the lion again. I might even raffle that lion off. So you've heard me say lately, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard me make the statement that this is the last generation of real humans. You've heard me talking about that. You've heard me saying that. And I don't think that everybody quite understands what I'm saying about it. Well, because I really haven't explained it that well. But I believe this is the last generation of real humans. I'm the Christian whistleblower, Jeffrey Darty. Of course, we have the Borg in the background, the Borg Queen, Jean-Luc Picard, a.k.a. Locutus, being taken from a human being and being plugged into the collective, becoming a cybernetic organism, part human, part machine. And of course, the Queen, much more so. She's like a head, some shoulders, and half a torso put onto a cybernetic body. You've got things like RoboCop. You got things like the Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. And I believe that this is the last generation of real humans. Now, I'm not talking about it the way a lot of these end-time preachers talk about this is the last generation before the second coming of Jesus, because, of course, I don't believe that Jesus was real, and I don't believe he's coming back. Well, Jesus may try to fake a comeback, but the Christ isn't coming back because he already told us he was not. So anyway, we are not talking about some second coming end time scenario, prepare to meet your God type of a last generation. What I'm talking about is a culmination of science, culture, and reality. The fake Jesus is not called Muhammad. Muhammad, don't know if he lived or not, but Jesus was never real. Jesus never lived. And Muhammad has nothing to do with Jesus, except they're both prophets of the same false God. But anyway, number one, within 20 years, multiple scientific studies have predicted that within 20 years, the vast majority, some say 85, 90% of all human males will be impotent. What that means is they will be unable to sexually reproduce. So if within, let's say that's too much of a, too pessimistic. Let's say it's within 50 years that the vast majority of human males will be unable to sexually reproduce. Generally speaking, a generation, 25, 45, 50 years. So I could argue just from that standpoint, please do not just promote your channel randomly in the chat. I find that rude, and I wish that you would not do it. I've asked nicely twice now. So please, don't just randomly spam your channel on mine. So within 50 years, 95% of American males will be functionally impotent. And if you don't believe me, just go ahead and do a little research. But it's a lot easier to troll than research. So I understand how some of you are. That's okay. We're probably not talking to those of you that just want to troll anyway. We're talking to those of you that actually want to do some research. So that's part of it. The other part of it is with the onslaught of artificial intelligence, with the onslaught of medical technology, with the onslaught of bioengineering, it seems very likely to me that within the next 100 years, let's say, that it will be very, very possible. It's interesting you say that, Sandy. It'd be very, Sandra, it'd be very, very possible that we will start to have the ability or the option to put ourselves into artificial bodies. Now, I've shared this with you over and over. I'm trying to encapsulate it here for easy access. The real reason for ending life in these human bodies is not because they're trying to keep us from getting old because they love us so much. It's not because they're trying to do away with disease because they love us so much. It's not because they're trying to do away with aging because they love us so much. It is simply because these bodies are not us. The real us is inside these bodies. And the good thing about these bodies are that they do have exit points. They do have exit points. So when you die, sorry, I'm going to have to get rid of this person because they're distracting me. When you die, you have a chance to move on from this incarnation into another incarnation of your choosing. If you're able to make that choice when you die. That's why we're having this seminar. That's why we're teaching about it. That's why we're probably going to do more. Phoenix is looking like a good possibility because we want you. I don't want to tell you what to do when you die. I don't want to tell you where to go when you die. What I want to do is get you to the place where you have options when you die. You can be divine, you can be sovereign, and you can be free when you die. Meaning that you can have the choice when you die. You can have your mind about you when you die. I'd love to come to London if someone could make that physically possible, or I would say financially possible for me. I want you to come to the place when you die that you'll have your wits about you to be able to say and realize, oh, I've died. Not to panic, not to freak out, not to run to the first thing that tells you, hey, follow me, but to be able to have your mind about you, your will about you, to be able to objectively evaluate your options and choose among them. Door 1, door 2, door 3, or what was it on American Gods? I guess it was just 2 doors, but take your pick. Number 1, realize that you're dead. Number 2, realize that you still have your own volition. And then number 3, make a choice that you want to make. Make a decision that you want to make. Because right now what happens, most of us are so ignorant about death. Most of us, all we worry about are these bodies. We never think about the spirit that's within them. Most of us think that we're born with original sin. We don't know that the Christ said we're born with the spark of divinity within. So when we die, we've been taught so bad and we've been so lazy so as not to have acquired any knowledge for ourselves that when we die, we get tricked, fooled, and herded into a reincarnation that's not of our choice, or into a destination soul farm that's not our choice. If you want to know what those are, go ahead. I'll show you what you want to do. If you want to find out what I teach on this subject, go to my YouTube channel, and I'm going to go on a limb and believe that if you're listening to this, you're already on my YouTube channel. So you're on my YouTube channel, and you're saying, what in the world is he talking about with these soul farms? So you're on YouTube. You just go Jeff Daugherty, soul farm. And Earth is a soul farm. I once led an astral soul farm, reality of soul farms, magic Mars, and soul farming. Soul farms, soul farms. You can find out astral plane. You can find out Soylent Jesus or soul farms. Is Soylent Jesus preparing a soul farm just for you? You can find out about this teaching by doing that. And I'll be frank with you. People write me and say, tell me what you believe about this. I tell you to go watch a video. I'm not here to spoon feed people. And I refuse to spoon feed people. I want people to take some initiative and study for themselves. So the whole idea is to get you to the place where you have sovereignty at the end of your life to decide, hey, this is where I want to go. This is not where I want to go. But the whole system is being set up now to, number one, they've kept you ignorant of your ability to choose. But there's people like me that are coming out now and saying, you do have a choice. So they realize that their monopoly on information is going away. So now think about it. Right now, there hasn't been that much great teaching, so they don't lose a whole lot of people at death. But as the more success that we have, the more people they will lose at death. So why take the chance? If you can get people out of these bodies that do die and do allow a point of exit, egress, why not put them into a body that is a mechanical body that does not have any exit? Put them into this body. That way, you never have to worry about losing anyone again. You can keep these spiritual beings that are inside us, the spark of divinity, and use it as long as it can. Use it till it's fully extinguished for your sustenance, for your feeding, and for your whatever nefarious purposes that you have. Folks, that's what's going on. You know, we're worried about Illuminatis, and we're worried about a lot of things, but the bottom line is there are spiritual entities farming us and using us for their sustenance. And they're trying to make sure that we never get out by putting us into artificial bodies. Now, if you're sick, if you're dying, if you're getting old, think of how difficult the temptation would be to resist. You've got cancer, you're wasting away, you're 100 years old, you're horribly disfigured in a crash. And they say, hey, look, all you have to do is allow us to extract your soul from this horrible injured body, and we'll put it into a artificial body for you. Wouldn't that be nice? And you know what? We'll do it just for free because we love you. How many of you have the integrity to refuse that? I don't think very many. And think of this new generation that all they do is play video games all day long. We have over 70% of Americans functionally obese. We have people in their 20s that have no testosterone left anymore in their bodies because of their diets and because of their lack of exercise. Folks, we're being killed. But we're not being killed because we're killing ourselves. The food we eat is filled with crap that makes you be impotent, lazy, and functionally inoperative. It also dulls your senses. The air you breathe, the chemicals, the things that are in our surroundings, the electronic bombardment, all these things are wrecking you unless you have awakened and you've got yourself shielded and protected. Then it's not affecting you. People say, oh, it's over, we've already lost. No, bullcrap. It's not true. But the idea is to get you into a place where you can't ever get out of so they can keep you and feed upon you forever. That's why I say we're the last generation of real humans that are fully biological, real humans that have our full minds. We haven't been chipped with any type of neural implants. We haven't been chipped with any type of bio implants. We haven't been put into cybernetic or fully robotic bodies. We're still humans today. And whether it's 50 years or 250 years, the day when there will not be any true, full, real humans is close upon us, especially in historical terms. Now, that's really important stuff, but it doesn't really matter a whole lot to people that are my age and older. I'm 54 years old this year. And what happens in 100 years? Probably not a huge concern of mine at this point, although I know I'll live to be at least 100. But those that are 70, those that are 80, those that are older than that, Jeff, I'm not really too worried about what happens in 50 years. Okay, I get that. But what you should be worried about is that this is likely your last death experience where you have a complete opportunity to be free. This is your last chance to die as a real human. It's your last chance to die as a real human. And it's your last chance to realize, I've got the spark of divinity in me. I'm divine, I'm sovereign, I'm free. And when I die, I'm going to go where I want to go, not where somebody else wants me to be. If you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, and I need to get in touch with Tan Hawk Group, I don't know why I haven't done it. I'm just a little scattered. But this is very likely, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, this will likely be your last incarnation, your last death experience where you have full sovereignty available to you to decide where you want to go, what you want to do, what you want to be after you die. This is your last chance to decide what you want to do when you find that you're dead. This is your last chance. This is, for those of us that are here able to listen to this, we are the last generation of real humans in the most important aspect, and that is we're the last generation of real humans that will have the full real human experience, including a full, real, 100% human death experience. This is your last chance to be fully sovereign in your death experience. So that's why I say this is the last generation of real humans. That's why I'm doing this seminar, and hopefully we'll do others across the country. That's why I'm teaching what I teach. That's why I'm putting out the information that I put out. I could put out things that are a lot more catchy, that are a lot more clickbaity, that would get a lot more views. But I'm putting out the information that I believe I've been called to put out, and that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And it's up to you if it's worthy of your time, and it's up to you to decide if it's worthy of your support. If it is worthy of your support, hit that super chat underneath if it's helping you and you want to support. Go to my website, jeffreydarty.com, hit the donate button if this is helping you and you feel that it's worthy of support. We are the last generation of real humans. In the way that matters most, the last generation of humans that will have a completely human experience, including a human death experience, which, if you are sufficiently trained, instructed, and enlightened, you will be able to choose to go where you want to go, do what you want to do, be what you want to be. Do you want to come back to this earth again for some reason that I can't even fathom? You could choose reincarnation. Do you want to hang out in the astral realm for some reason I can't fathom? You could do that. Do you want to go to another dimension? You could do that. Do you want to continue up the next step in the rung of the progress of human ascension? You could do that. It's up to you if you're up to it. I like that. It's up to you if you're up to it. But if you're too busy being distracted and doing things that don't really matter, then you'll just be back here being really distracted and doing things that don't really matter. Let's go to the chat room. You've listened to me. I will listen to you and see what you have to say here in the chat room. And, you know, I have a lot of people that have my back and watch out for me and, you know, let me know and give me heads up and stuff like that. So when you say that you want to talk to me and you want to discuss things with me, bad mouthing me on other channels is probably not the most effective way to make that happen. Just a note. Just a note. All righty. Can't make it back to Florida. I wish you could. There's a Vedic deity. I don't know if there's a Vedic deity in our inner monkey, but that's an interesting point of view. Sandra D'Angelo getting ready for the event. Excellent. Can't wait to see you. Locutus isn't that far away. Company in Norway chipping their employees. Do you have a source on that, Teddy? And when I ask somebody for a source, that doesn't mean I'm saying I don't believe you. I'm saying that I want to see verified, documented proof, because it's too easy for us, especially in the YouTube world, and especially when you're making videos, to make a statement of whatever. And unfortunately, most people that watch YouTube videos won't call speakers on statements they make. I asked for documentation. I want to know where it came from. Big Teddy Smooth, I trust him, but I can't repeat what Big Teddy Smooth says unless I know the documentation. That's just the way I am. So I know Big Teddy Smooth read it somewhere. I just want to know where he might have read it. That's all I'm saying. I'm doing video. Yeah, okay. We're all going to turn gay. I don't know if that's true, Dave. You like those frogs? If every ascension cycle occurs 26,000 plus years, this may very well be our last chance before AI takes over. It's interesting you say 26,000 because I'm looking at my whiteboard over here. I got a whiteboard that is huge. 24,500 year cycles was the opinion of the Mayans, who were probably the best mathematicians to ever tackle that subject. So 24,500 year cycles. Humans with culture detailed enough and developed enough to have religion have been around for about 50,000 years. So 50,000 years, 24,500 year cycles. So the first human generation, if you will, the first human cycle that had religious abilities ended about 25,000 years ago. Add another 25,000 years, that puts us at the very end or close to it of another 24,500 year cycle. So big picture for humanity, this is our last chance. But most importantly, everybody's favorite radio station is WIFM. What's in it for me? This is your last chance to be divine, sovereign, and free when you DIE. Well, I can tell that Sandra D has been studying. How do we know these bodies are not already artificial? Look around and find a sharp instrument, a needle, a knife, a straight pen. Hold up your finger and poke it. Pierce your skin. If something red comes out, taste it. If it's salty, irony, that's blood, you're real. If you pierce it and something comes out that isn't red, that isn't salty, and that doesn't taste irony, then you might not be real. These bodies are not artificial, but yet SR Brands makes a good point, because these bodies were created by the rat bastard, Yahweh the Lord, Jehovah, out of the dust of the earth, the clay of the earth. So they really are artificial in the sense that they're not us. We are the spark of divinity within these bodies. So good point. Good to see you, Jeff. Thank you, Violet Flame. Always good to see you. Can I be a Trump in my next life? I don't know. If you put yourself in a robotic body, your soul will be trapped here forever. Exactly, Tony Dane. That's my point. Why do you keep changing your look? Because I feel like it. In a world of deception, how do we know where to go for sure? By studying, by growing, by being your own guru, by guiding your own spirit, by mastering your own ascension, by doing some spiritual work. I bought the American Book of the Dead. Hope I live long enough to read it. Me too. So it does matter what we do with our time here, of course. I want to go home, says SR Brands. All truth is within. I would agree with that. So if you're spiritual and powerful, you can be a rock star in your next life. That's a silly comment. You could go to a soul farm if you want to. I'm convinced Earth was intended to be a soul farm. I think you're right, Violet Flame. I think it is a soul farm. In the checkerboard of life, you need to get kinged, ha ha ha. Where they made evil or did become evil, yeah? They feed off the true light, archons. Your soul is the truth. I would agree with that. As someone with ongoing back pain, it would be very tempting. I can see where you're coming from, Big Teddy. I can see where you're coming from. Caroline says she would never want it. Good for her. I hate what they've done to the children. Absolutely. I don't think any of us like it. Spiritual beings using us and feeding off of us energetically, Mary. Some people won't see that as any different than plastic surgery or fake breasts. Good point. Could you be like young and hot and change bodies at will? Well, I'm sure you could be. I don't think they're going to make ugly bodies. Why would they? Empathy rates are down 40% in the last 30 years. Again, I'm not sure how we measure that, but I wouldn't doubt that. Why are we awake and others are not? That's a great decision. That's a great question. I don't agree that we're already ascended and just need to remember personally, but that's an interesting thought. Yeah, like Jen says, how do they measure that? We are being numbered out of existence until we wake up. I agree. Thank you, AJ. If the drugs don't work, the food will almost definitely get you. That's true. That's why you've got to start eating organically. That's why you got to start shopping as locally as possible. No, it's not perfect, but it's the best chance we got. Roni B says our chakras were put in us for them to reside in and control our emotions or cause pain and temptations. If you look up Jeffrey Darty chakras, you'll see that I don't believe the chakras are organic or they're not here for our betterment. They're put there by the rat bastard to use against us. I agree, but even then the Elohim had our back because the chakras do allow him to get in, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They allow us to get out, and I guarantee you, your AI bodies won't have any chakras or any other means of egress. They register data through surveys. Brave New World, fluoride. Yes, fluoride is no good. Why aren't these artificial bodies we are in now made by Yahweh? Again, they are. Humans were created in Genesis 1:24 to 27 as spiritual beings. The rat bastard in Genesis 2 created these mud hut bodies, conned us into them. So in the strictest interpretation, these bodies we're in are artificial. They are not our natural abode, but they are fully biological. These bodies are fully biological. They're not mechanical. You can either don't live on your knees, die on your feet. I agree with that. I'm glad you feel better than you did 10 years ago. Will future generations even know or realize they aren't all they can be? Great point, Teddy. No, they won't. Especially if we're gone. If when the last generation of real humans leaves, there won't be any body alive that remembers what it was like to be a real human. We're the last generation to tell our tale. Wow. Sandra's never been attached to her age, and she's in great shape, so they can't get me there. Good for you. I'm connected with Source. Good for you. It's fitting that the prophet of what to do when you die is from Florida. That's funny, and I appreciate that. I think they use your loved ones to lure you back. I think they do. I don't know if we're talking about loved ones that are still alive and you want to try to come back and be around them, or if they fake your loved ones in the astral realm to tempt you to go to places that you wouldn't normally go. And folks, I'm going to say this, and it's going to upset some of you, but it's the truth anyhow. 99.9% of who you see even in this world that say that your departed loved ones are not. And the same is true after you die. They're entities faking to be your loved ones. Michelle says, age 10, I knew this was my last life. She says, we do have the choice. We do not consent. My name is Jeffrey Darty, and I do not give consent. I'm divine. I'm sovereign. I'm free. What happens after I die is up to me. I wouldn't mind to reincarnate in Siberia where it'd be safe. That's very interesting, Dana. I've not tried mushrooms. Thank you, AJ. Where do you plan to incarnate next, Jeff? I plan to be cognizant of my choices at that time and to choose appropriately then. I feel like my spirit will know where I'm supposed to go at the point of death. At this point, Violet Flame, I don't feel like I want to stay here. Why are the bad beings doing it? Where are they made to be evil? And I don't understand. Casinos have been chipping us for years. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you for that, Milky Way. Have you made up your mind as to what you'd like to do after this life? Yeah, we just talked about that. Oh, Belgium, not Norway. Oh, Teddy gives us the link. This is what I like right here. A man that gives a link. Let's see if it'll pull up. That's what I like. There's a true thinker right there. There we go. Check this out. This is what Big Teddy Smooth was talking about right here. He was talking about this. Belgian company offers to make its employees cyborgs with microchip implants. In the latest move towards a brave new world, a European company has offered its employees a chance at being cyborgs. New Fusion, a Belgian digital and tech firm. Why do I always think Belgian waffles? I know that's terrible, but I do. Recently took steps to make biohacking a company-wide initiative. Instead of old school ID badges, who needs those stinking badges? New Fusion's workers can offer a microchip implant in their hand to gain access to the company's headquarters and computer systems. That's not making them a cyborg. That's clickbait, but it is a step down that path, I would agree. Just because you got a chip in you doesn't make you a cyborg, but it's clickbait. We read it, we fell for it, and it does speak to the fact that they're moving down that path. Way to do your research, Teddy. Good job, Big Teddy. I like that. Sandra D'Angelo said she's heard 26,902. Well, I've heard 24,500. And I appreciate you doing that research. And you could be right. I could be wrong. Unlikely, but I could be wrong. And we both could be right. And it really doesn't matter when you're talking on historical terms, when you're talking in empirical scientific terms, 26.9, 24.5. That's well within the margin of error. So good study, Sandra D'Angelo. What if after death we wake up? Oh, that's silly. We're infinite beings having a physical experience. Absolutely. I agree. When we die, a lot of people are angry at this trap we've been in. Shouldn't we stick around for a bit to guide the others? That's up to you. That's completely and totally up to you, if you're up to it. We are a biological machine. I disagree. I think we're a biological entity. There's no mechanical stuff within us. We're fully biological. The Florida event is live and in person, yes. So will there be a new generation of human but different from us? Well, mystery, if they have these implants like Big Teddy showed us, if they're having chips in their brains, chips in their bodies, if they're having AI bodies, mechanical bodies, robotic bodies, then I would say yes. And not to mention that mystery, how much change are we undergoing as a species by the GMO, by the food, by the air, by the water, by the drugs, by the viruses? I didn't mean viruses, I meant vaccines. Freudian slip. How much change are we going under and undergoing? And there's another reason another facet of us being the last real humans alive, because after the onslaught of this chemical, electromagnetic assault we've been under, we won't be real humans any longer. Now, how can you say robots don't last 100 years? You don't know that. Is it possible that the same thing is happening in other worlds and universes? I would think so, Marcus. Terry's Vedic chart said that she's done this time and she's thankful. Good for you. Maybe this is also why so many seem to feel that this is their last incarnation. I feel strongly I've done this for too many years. I feel strongly you have too. Sorry, it jumped on me again. I do not believe any demigod can trap our souls here. I don't either. And then she hits it on the head when she says we can be recycled due to ignorance, but no way we are trapped. We're trapped if we don't know how to get out. I talk about this story. There's a movie called Instinct, and they had captured this gorilla. He'd been in a cage for 20, 30 years. Big, strong, powerful gorilla. They open the door to the cage, and he cowers in the corner. He won't even walk out of the cage. So you can say that his captors weren't keeping him captive. He could have got out of the cage anytime he wanted to, but he didn't want to anymore. That's Stockholm Syndrome. We are trapped in a fear and guilt control matrix that has caused us to surrender our divinity, surrender our sovereignty, and surrender our freedom. And we don't even remember what it's like to be free anymore. And if you won't walk out of a cage, you're still a prisoner, even though you could walk out. You're still in bondage until you decide to be free, even if you have the ability to be free. First time I've caught you live. Hello from Texas. I just got off the phone with a 96-year-old friend. Amazing changes they've seen over the years. Boy, I can only imagine. Maybe we could make a time capsule of sorts. Interesting. They're trying to calcify the pineal gland. They're not trying, they're doing. Been working on non-attachment practice for some time. Excellent. Won't there be humans left to run the AI? Some kind of humans. Caroline, you have the right to be wrong. She says our bodies do not trap our soul. Again, they do trap your soul. Adam and Eve were conned into these bodies. And 2,000 years later, we've forgotten how to get out of them. We're just like the gorilla in the cage. If you don't know how to get out, you're a prisoner. If you don't remember how to get out, you're a prisoner. If you don't want to get out, you're a prisoner. Call it what you want. You're still a prisoner. You're not free unless you're free. We're stuck in these bodies. And if you can't be 3 feet behind your head right now, you're still stuck. You're still a prisoner. You may not like that verbiage, but it's true. I'm kind of wound up today. Believe in your soul. Our bodies do not trap our soul no matter what the container. They do. We are trapped. I think that's fear porn. I think it's called reality. Believe in your sovereign power. This body is not limiting to our soul. This body is limiting to our soul. You're an Elohim. You should be able to, boop. We should be able to be here and gone. Just like that. Just like the Christ was. He could go anywhere he wanted to go. He could appear. He could disappear. He could take different forms. Can you do that? No, you can't. Why not? Because your body's trapped your soul. Because your sovereign power is limited. Because this body is limiting your soul. Sorry, that's the reality. That's why I work with people to teach them how to be 3 feet behind their head, just like that. And until you can, you're still trapped. Yes, you do have a divine sovereign soul, but you're trapped in a hole. So yeah, you're divine, you're sovereign, but you ain't free until you're free. That's just reality. That's just reality. Until you can do it, then you're still trapped. You're still a gorilla in a cage that you either don't remember how to get out of, don't want to get out of, or can't get out of. Yes, you're still a gorilla, but with all functional reality, you're just one of those little baby spider monkeys that they put the diapers on. That's who we are, folks. That's who we are, folks. One of the ways to get back is by saying your friends and family need you to come back. That's good. And I think it's garbage. Don't buy it. Being in the military, I believe I was chipped way back. That's interesting, Caroline. I was in the military for 6 years. I wonder. I don't think I have any chips, but yeah. Go away. It's not time for meaties. Quit yelling. You're interrupting the show. Does this look like a cat that's about to die if he doesn't get his meaties in the next 5 minutes? No. Sorry, bro, but I don't think it's a meaties emergency that you think it is. But as soon as I get done talking to these nice people, I will get you some meaties. Meaties time is 6 o'clock. It's 5:06. Come on, bro. You're working me. You're working me. You know it's not meaties time, don't you? Say bye. Now go along. Starting so small, like almost everything, makes it big and scary. Yep. The important ships are just a small step. I agree. We're not supposed to look back with want. I would agree with that. What's your thoughts on Mandela effect? Again, search the channel. I've done a bunch of stuff on Mandela effect. I've been on Coast to Coast on Mandela effect. In fact, last Thursday I was on Coast to Coast talking about Mandela effect. Christ said in the Gospel of Thomas that we are actually dead. I don't buy that. I think that's dung. And I'm going to remove that one. I just don't want people thinking that I agree with that. We don't need to die first. Do we need to die first, don't we? That's a great question. I think that if we got ourselves spiritually in tuned and spiritually aligned enough, we could leave these bodies without being dead. Before death, we could just say, I'm out of here. See ya. But yeah, so I don't think we would have to die, but functionally now, that's the easiest way for us to get free. Great question, though, Cold Square 7. Hi, Rooney. That's why you have to be born again. He thinks he needs the meaties. Whenever I say that word, can you hear that silly cat? Stop it. Run along. Go on. You're bugging me. So, okay, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we're the last generation of real humans. That's what we're talking about. We can leave our bodies anytime. Show me, Carrie. We can leave our bodies anytime, but can you? And if you can't, it's only this. And this ain't going to get you where you need to be. Although it is a start. They trapped us consciously because most of us are spiritually unaware. I agree. Many Indian teachers and Buddhists have dropped their bodies when they were ready. That's true. We're the last generation. It's meaties time. I will, Sandra. I'll send you an email I can use a little bit of help. Smith & Wesson can get you out in a messy way, but show me, Carrie. Go live with me right now and leave your body. I know I can, but most 99.9999999% of people can't. And they just yap about it. You can get, Smith & Wesson can get you out of this body, but if you commit suicide, guess what? You come right back into another human incarnation as a baby. I'm convinced of it 100%. If you commit suicide, you probably will be assimilated. I would agree. Now we're lying on the hardwood floor, loudly slamming our tail to indicate our displeasure, thinking that's going to cause me to get up and get him meaties. Guess what? He's wrong. When you are asleep and you dream, don't you leave your body? I don't know. Sometimes you probably do, but not all the time, no. How do you progress to leave your body? You progress to leave your body. It's a learned process. It's called exteriorization. Yes, I can, Mystery. I can be 3 feet behind my bed, my head, or my bed anytime I want. Rex had a show yesterday. AI interested in numerology. How wicked would it be if you planned your future before you knew it? That's interesting. Jeff, you are a poorly trained human, said Rooney. Isn't that the truth? It's easy to leave in the astral plane, but for further, I don't know. Again, easy. If it's so easy, how come almost no one can do it? That's my question. If it's easy, how come almost no one can do it? And who cares who's banned or who's not? For those who have eyes to see, will see 3 feet behind their head. Suicide is a one-way ticket back. I agree 100%. A one-way ticket back right now. Absolutely. All I'm saying is believing you can get out of your body is only the beginning to getting out of your body. Just because you believe you can get out doesn't mean you can. Interesting. Brian Parker says just before he goes to sleep, he hears a loud pop before he leaves his body. Reincarnation is a problem. Reincarnation is a trap. Don't you believe when we come in with a plan, we remember when we wake up fully? I don't know. I do not know. I really do not know. Great questions. Interesting questions. Powerful questions. I'm deleting messages because it's my channel and I want to. And they're distracting and they're irrelevant and they're erroneous, in my opinion. That's why I'm deleting them. Watch. Boop. So I just deleted a message that asked me, why am I deleting messages? That's your ears popping is tinnitus. That's interesting. Projecting your consciousness is an unexplored muscle. It takes initiation, practice, and is step one. I agree with you, AJ. Step two, I mean, it's a whole process. It's a whole, there is a very well thought out, well laid out methodology for learning to get out of your body. And I do teach it on a private basis. It's just too much to try to go through in this type of a forum. Kids that remember their past lives. You know, it's interesting, Karina, because mostly it is kids that remember. Because I think by the time we, quote, grow up, we've been so programmed that we don't remember anything. I think it makes sense. The youngest ones, the ones closest to their last incarnation would remember. They do it because they remember their past lives and because they haven't been fully indoctrinated into this fear and guilt control matrix, I think. Goodbye. Goodbye, Carrie Owens. like Curly Bill said on Tombstone, well, bye. Don't let the door hit you where the rat bastard split you. I ain't got time to play anymore. So if you don't want to listen, bye-bye. Are we cross, Carrie? Because I just don't think that I could bear it if we were not going to be friends. When we die, will we be self or will we be collective? That's the question, isn't it, Tan Hawk Group? If you have your sovereignty and your freedom when you die, you can choose. If you aren't ready to die and you don't know what to do, then you're going to be collective. Iowa, you're being distracting. Speaking of distracting, my stepfather's calling me. I'm going to have to decline that. Did I leave my body when I was really sick? That does happen. I've heard that happen a lot, Crooked One. When you get really sick, I don't know if it means that you're really close to death, but people that are really sick will many times leave their body. Why? Maybe because you're about ready to really leave your body. Maybe because you're about ready to die. Or possibly because you're so sick and you're so in pain that maybe your body, you leave your body to give yourself a respite from the pain and the difficulty. And somebody says, it's my channel and I'll delete if I want to. Delete if I want to. You would delete too if it happened to you. What does my stepfather say? Do you want a salad from Greek Village? Yes, I do. Please. Sorry, I am on live. Say hello. Smiley face. I messed up the smiley face. Now it's a smiley face. All righty then. So where was I before we started talking about salads from Greek Village? Going to my mother's later. Children are more easily able to OBE. I agree. Out-of-body experience. They're not limited in their view of what reality is. I agree 100%. Good comment. And it popped. Why? Whatever do you mean? That was great. I've been told that the pop comes from the pineal gland. That's interesting. I've never heard the pop. They say up to age 7, kids remember. I wonder if there's something cosmic about the 7, Caroline. Jeff, thank you for waking me up, bro. May I politely say that you woke yourself up, bro? It wasn't me. I might have given you some information, but you chose to wake up. And may I say, let's talk about Caroline Amitra _ Truth and Love 1111. Caroline and I had a little tete-a-tete there. We had a disagreement. I didn't agree with what she's saying. She didn't agree with what I'm saying in that particular instance. But guess what? Did Caroline Amitra leave? Did Caroline Amrita, did Caroline leave? Did she unsubscribe? Did she go talk bad about me somewhere? No. Did I block her? Did I ban her? No. It's all right to disagree. It's all right to have differing opinions. In fact, that's how we learn, by encouraging and exchanging with people with different opinions. It's not all right to be rude, to be a jerk, or to try to draw attention to yourself. And it's not all right to talk about things that are off the topic because we're trying to, this is the last chance you get, ladies and gentlemen. It's so important to focus on the subject matter at hand. Caroline was challenging me about things about this subject, and she was doing it politely. She was doing it with cogent thoughts, and she was doing it within the context of the conversation. That's what it's all about. You won't get banned. You won't get timed out for that. And when I'm involved in a debate, sometimes I feel strong. I love Caroline. I've invited her to come on this channel 100 times to talk about urine therapy, and she's still welcome. So Jeff bans everybody that disagrees with him. No, he doesn't. Jeff bans everybody that's rude, stupid, obnoxious, or distracting. Eventually. So Caroline, I salute you for being a thinker. I salute you for being a studier. I salute you for being a person that understands debate and discussion. Bam, you're a good person. You're a smart person. And you're a whole person. Thank you. And it's my pleasure, Cold Square, to have been a part of helping you wake yourself up. How many sessions to learn to get behind your head? Well, I'm a little bit arrogant, so I think I can do it in 5 with anybody. Sometimes it can take more. I want to leave my body when I'm working. I'll bet. We are one of all, no matter. I'm not sure what that means. I felt before my mom passed, she had already left. Yeah, I agree. I've had that happen. That's nice of him. I'm not sure what Sandra's referring to, but if it's nice, that's great. I'll have a salad, says Tao Sophia. Oh, that was nice of my stepfather. Yeah, that was nice of him. Extreme trauma will cause you to exit. Absolutely. Yeah. Finger licking good. You have to watch the show yesterday. Caroline passed out a lot as a child and still does occasionally and remembers everything when you're out. Such a great point. Your mind remembers every single thing when you're out. But the problem is when you're out, typically your fight or flight lower mind jumps up, your reactive mind takes over your analytical mind and fills it with bad data. That's what I do. I go back through people's life tracks and get rid of the bad data that happened when they weren't consciously aware and at other times. And trauma, pain is one of those things. And it's amazing because if you're knocked out, let's say that Caroline passed out and the EMTs were there. Let's just say they were. And one of them was doing something that was wrong. And the other one saying to him, stop that, don't do that, stop that, don't do that. That goes into Caroline's mind. And in a time of stress, all of a sudden she's going to start hearing, stop that, don't do that, stop that. And she's going to think it applies to the situation. And all it is just some residual information that got into her mind when her analytical mind was turned off and her reactive mind throws it back up. Yeah, that's what we do. Up until age 7, says AJ, there's a theta brainwave state, literally dreaming themselves into reality. That's interesting. This is a distracting comment. Kids, baby goats, children, this is not the place for the grammar police. Remove. My son has more spirituality in him than most adults, and he's 7. Yep. How do you see the early Gnostic monks in Glastonbury that taught experiential contact with spirit? I don't know anything about that, but it sounds fascinating. Are we doing the rods today? We could do the rods today. How do we help people with mental disabilities to become awake to be able to not consent? I have no idea, Michelle. But maybe they could help us. I don't know. I would like a Caesar salad. Huh? In childhood, Deanne often OBE'd and remembered all of it. I think it may have been around 7 to 9 years old. Wow. Caroline says, I love a good difference of opinion. So do I. It's not time yet, bro. Chill. Rooney, can't you tell time anymore? It's not 6 o'clock. But he starts working me every day about 5. And I made the mistake of he used to just get meaties at night at about 6. And then he starts pushing it about 5. But I started giving him morning meaties too. So you know what that means? He's got this real nice cat perch thing and it sits out by the window. And he'll sit there and he will scan the horizon. And when he sees the first little sliver of the earliest light of the sun pierce the horizon, he jumps down and comes over to my bed and starts trying to wake me up because he thinks it's meaty time, but it's not meaty time. But you can't blame a brother for trying. I hope you guys all have live chats. I do have live at the thing. I don't know if we'll be able to have live chats at the seminar. That would be, I don't think we will. 7's always been a special number. Funny, you banned me and I was never rude. I only expressed my difference of opinion on topic as far as pointing out hypocrisy. That's rude right there. So remove. I'll give you a chance to hang around, but that was a good example of rude and a good example of distracting and a good example of drawing attention to yourself, because no one cares about you, Sunshine On, at this channel. It's not about you. It's about me, what I'm teaching. And if you don't like that, then you know that there's other channels out there for you. And again, bad mouthing me on other channels, people tell me about it, is not a good way to be treated. Well, if you bad mouth me on other channels and you come over here trying to debate me on my channel about why you're banned, come on, man. And look what I got in my hand. The rod. So if we do have rod questions, I think when you're ill, you could leave your body easier because you care less about it. John, that's profound. I never thought about that. I think when you're ill, and just to mention that person that I banned, how do you think they were able to come back and make a comment on my channel? Oh, I must have unbanned them. So if I was really the a-hole that they want to believe I am, why would I unban them? Why would I give them another chance? That's interesting. John says that when you leave your body when you're ill because you don't care about your body so much, because you're trying to detach from the sick body and you're focusing on your spirit, John, that's powerful. I believe 7 is divine. Caroline says she's getting geared up. I'm sorry, the chat jumped on me again. I'm getting geared up, Angel. And if the next destination is automatic, it's not. Do you think extending our emotional body is in line with OBE? No. I think extending your emotional body, I don't know if I want to do that. I do it for protection purposes, but it can seem to be almost controlling to me. But that's just me. Some minor arrogance is probably good fuel for our inner fire. Pushovers get stepped on. We're not here to be pushovers. Thank you, Deanne. Yeah, I know I'm kind of arrogant. That's just the way I am. I've made peace with it. You should have seen me 10 or 15 years ago. Would you consider a show about leaving your body instructions? Probably not, because that should be done, I think, in a controlled clinical environment. I might consider small group classes, maybe 5 at a time. Do you think Alzheimer's are symptoms of the Mandela effect? SWGJR, that's a fascinating thought. Could Alzheimer's be symptoms of Mandela effect? Someone very close to me is suffering from Alzheimer's right now. And Alzheimer's is not so much going into other places. It's a breakdown of the actual brain organ. So I would have to say no. I don't think. My grandmother had it. Someone else in my family very close to me who I haven't seen nearly enough has it. I don't think it's a spiritual thing. I don't think it's an energetic thing. I think it's a breakdown of biology. It's a breakdown of the biological brain and connectivity and things. So that's a fascinating question, SWG Jr., Swaggy Jr., or whatever that stands for. But I would have to say no. It's not symptoms of the Mandela effect. I think it's just plain old biological breakdown. Big Teddy Smooth, I salute you, brother. My brother died for 18 minutes. Didn't remember anything. Our subconscious is very sensitive, absolutely. Our analytical mind, it makes a complete recording of everything. Same thing, only about 13 times. I've experienced that from being in a coma. Oh, Brian, I'll have to talk to you about that. I believe Brian's going to be there Sunday. Alzheimer's is mad cow disease from eating meat or contaminated surgical tools. Interesting opinion. Jeff, I don't want to come back, but if we fall for a trap, could there be a code word or something so that our memory can come back? Why don't you create a code word for yourself? Like, I shouldn't do this, but watch this. What if you made your code word meaties? And when you die, you could say to yourself, meaties. And that would be your code word not to come back. Set your own code word. I work with mentally ill. There's so many psych drugs. Yeah, it's terrible. It's 6 o'clock somewhere. Maybe your depression has led you here to help you. Yeah, maybe. Daylight savings time, my dog, same cat, same thing. I remember seeing myself lying there and then going to a different place. Wow, that's amazing. Meat-a-ritas. Tony, I hope that you've already made this decision yourself, and I usually don't answer these kind of questions with the rods. And if you have to ask this question, it's probably no. Should Tony, Dane, Ducros get back together with their ex? Negatory. 6 o'clock somewhere. Rod question, please. Was Nathalie a prisoner at Jeff's Soul Farm on Mars? Was Nathalie a prisoner at Jeff's Soul Farm on Mars? No. Are you taping the event December 10th? Yes. Going through straight hells and trying to pull myself out of the matrix. It happens. The seminar is a paid event, and if we're not paid, then we shouldn't have full access. Fair is fair. Well, you won't have full access. There'll be partial access, but it's not like it's going to be everything. I was a dragon before I reincarnated as a human. Was Rune Star Dragon a dragon before they reincarnated as a human? I think you knew that. It says yes. Well, ain't that a peach? I'll be there. Sorry, it jumped on me again. Rods, yay. Will my wife and I get a divorce? I'm not going to do that one cold square. With all due respect, rods aren't for making decisions. Rods are for confirming decisions. So I'm not going to say that. Sunshine on, you're drawing attention to yourself again and distracting from the discussion. Please stop. You're confusing sickness with spiritual works. I don't think so. I look forward to passing on, but I'm getting all I can from the now. Ronnie or Roni, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. That's the right way to look at it, in my opinion. I'm looking forward to passing on, but I'm getting everything I can from the here and now and doing all I can do here and now. Can you please ask the rods if I'm succeeding in pulling myself out of this hell matrix? Is Denise succeeding in pulling herself out of this hell matrix? Yes. Or if your body's sick and you only hold tighter to it, it might pull you in deeper into coming back to a new body. Yeah. Good point, Violet Flame. What's the best way to break through our own thoughts so that meditation becomes better? Meditate. And I'm not trying to be flippant. Well, maybe a little. But you start meditating 5 seconds. Then you move to 10. Then you move to 15. Then you move to 20. 25, 30, 35, 40. All of a sudden, you're meditating a minute, and wow, you're advanced. And then Sandra D is like 20, 30 minutes of meditation. That's crazy. That's great. There's not many of us that are up to that level. But the only way to learn to meditate is to meditate, Brian. The only way to break through your own thoughts so that meditation becomes better is to do more meditation. It's just that simple. And just the fact that you're sitting there being quiet, breathing is good. Do the in through the nose, expand your chest or your stomach. Some people say out through your mouth. That helps center you and quiet your thoughts. If you meditate on grass or sand, meditate on on the earth itself. That helps a lot. If you're in a place where you can do it naked without getting arrested, that also helps. So there's some hints for you. Alzheimer's, you should check high toxicity of aluminum. Yes, absolutely. I agree. I don't think it's Mandela. Sunshine On says, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're saying that we're trapped in our bodies unless we learn how to consciously leave them. Can you offer proof of what you're saying? Sure. Leave your body right now. Go ahead. I'm waiting. Leave your body. Oh, you can't? There's your proof. I'm your Huckleberry. Jeff, could there be a physiological explanation for out-of-body experiences? Oh, yes, absolutely. There's physiological experiences or physiological explanations for it. Some of them, in some occasions, are probably exactly right. But I believe there is a phenomenon, a spiritual phenomenon in addition to it. Brian Parker will be there. Excellent. Shame on you, poor Rooney. Rooney will be fine. Trust me. And it's not 6 o'clock yet. It's not 6 o'clock yet. Is from then one cause. Don't drink tap water. That's a great, great comment. I drink only distilled water. Could Alzheimer's be a state where you start living in the spiritual realm? Again, Rune, from my experience with having two people close to me have Alzheimer's, I don't think it's spiritual. I think it's simply a breakdown of biological materials. Thanks, Jeff. You're welcome. Was Justice Scalia murdered? Oh, that's a good one. Was Justice Scalia murdered? Yes, I happen to agree with that. Will I see my daughters again soon? Will loose lips see their daughters again soon? Soon-ish. Listening to Jeff, talking with all the wonderful people in this chat is a great remedy for combating depression. Thank you. I consider that a real honor. Sorry, it jumped on me again. Is it possible for an entire universe to be a soul farm? Oh, that's a great question. You know what? Yes, it is. Is it possible for an entire universe to be a soul farm? Oh, yeah, it is. Yes, you are still alive to help lost people. I think it's a legitimate question when what is presented is an opinion, but people are just being told it's fact. I don't even know what that means. It is a fact that we can't get out of our bodies. And if you can get out of your body, then you've got an argument. If you can't, you're proving my point. You are proving my point. Are you willing to ask the rods about MK? I'm not sure what you mean by MK. I was stuck in limbo for 1,000 years before. Oh, was I? Wow. Was Karina Z stuck in limbo for 1,000 years before this lifetime? No, but something was going on. Was I a dragon? Christy, was I a dragon? No. Sandra, was giving my notice at work the right thing to do? Yes. Do parallel universes exist? Yes. AJ, that's a good principle with the rods. Decisions made questions, not what to do with questions. Yeah, confirmation. I take some antidepressants if they're helpful. Okay. Fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Am I on the right path? Only you know that. Jeff, do you think interlinear realities are different dimensions? In other words, do you think they are the same thing? Linear realities, different dimensions. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by linear realities. Jeff, will you please ask the rods, do I have a benevolent reptilian watching me work? Do I or do you? I think I know what you mean. Calm down, boys. Does Violet Flame have a benevolent reptilian watching her work? Whoa, yes, very, very much so. Does Jeff have a benevolent reptilian watching him work? Yes, very much so. Brian has memories from his last time around when he was a human. His mother-in-law came to say goodbye 3 days after she passed. My wife and I saw her plain as day. Then she was gone. Was that really the mother-in-law? Okay, I'll buy it. Meditation is a process, but so very worthwhile. Stick with it. Jeff's advice is awesome. Thank you. Should I do hypnosis to connect to my source self? Should I do hypnosis to connect to my source self? Yes. And the more you do it, the more you'll want to, says the woman that meditates for 20 minutes. Is the internet enlightening mankind? I think it is. Is the internet enlightening mankind? Yeah, of course it is. Sitting and breathing deep for 12 minutes will probably make you pass out. But AJ's right. Just sitting and deep breathing is a tremendous, tremendous practice for you. I think it's getting time for my meaties, Rooney. I'm getting tired. I'm coming to you in a fasted condition right now. Beach and sun gazing is very helpful to get us into a meditative state. Also music. That's why I go to the beach every day. It's there today for a little bit long. I got a little parched. I can meditate for 40 minutes. Wow. Binaural beats help. Binaural beats scare me a little bit. I started off holding a picture of my daughter in my mind's eye. That's a great thing. Joe Harper, if you can find a ley line to meditate on, yes. Will I move on to another dimension when I die? Yeah, you will, but I think you want this. Will I move on to another dimension when I die? Not telling you. Cats don't have clocks, but they sure know what time it is. Is Mark Coyle from Mars? Yes. A lot of Martian people are attracted to this channel, Heidi Vandenberg's channel, Rex's channel. I'm not sure what to think about that. Could it be possible that there's a moment in which we are meant to leave our bodies, therefore we aren't trapped? No. We're trapped. The objective evidence is that human beings were created as spiritual beings, and the rat bastard, the Lord, Yahweh, created bodies out of the mud and conned us into them. I've proven it over and over and over. So no, we're trapped. If you can't get out, you're trapped. Doesn't every captor tell you, oh, don't worry, there's a time where you're meant to be able to leave? Sister, brother, father, mother, if you can't get out, you're caught in a trap. You can't walk out. Is it possible that there's a moment in which we're meant to leave our bodies, therefore we aren't trapped? No. Of course, that's my opinion. Are there still seats open for Sunday? Yes, there are. I would say that if you have a nice lawn chair or something, bring it if you can, if you're not getting on an airplane. So yes, there are. I figure you should at least meditate for 15 to 30 minutes a day. Yes, I agree. In the Air Force, were you under General Jack D. Ripper? All right. Time out. Stay away from drinking out of plastic bottles. Yeah, I do as much as I can. Oh, that's the one. You might be a Martian if. Sorry. The chat jumped on me again. There we go. Ley lines are coming into my radar axiom a lot. Where can I find a good image? There's things on the internet, Sandra, that I'll show you. Some people say that Coral Castle is on a portal or a ley line. I can't remember which. Jeff, yeah, he's still on daylight savings time. Will Mystery's daughter get into the college she wants? Yes. Soul Farm Universe, dang. How do the rods work? They read intention, they read energy. I think it's a great thing that you take the time listening and answering your listeners. Thank you, Rune. Hey, new subscriber, still getting over the shock I know Jesus after being raised a Southern Baptist and marrying a Pentecostal man. How can you be Baptist and marry a Pentecostal? Only if you've been one or the other do you understand that. Good for you, Dawn. You're on your way, sister. Are there other Earths out in the universe with people just like us? I think so. Are there other Earths out in the universe with people just like us? Yes. Yes, there are benevolent entities. Oh, this is a good use of the rods right here. This is the only time where, this is one of the occasions where they're not just for confirmation. Did Just Be Nice's ex take their rings? Yes, they did. Track them down. Is it Meaty's time? Nope, not yet. Do we choose our own parents? Do we choose our own parents? I'm driving in the rain, Rocker Chick. Hey, Rocker Chick, it's been a minute. Is love the strongest force in the universe? Is love the strongest force in the universe? No, and I think it means our concept of what we think is love. Jesus could return in a false flag by the rat bastard unless we get the news out about it. Are dreams visits to alternate dimensions and parallel worlds? I would say yes, but they could be that and more. Does one individual thought create a timeline? Ooh. Does one individual thought create a timeline? No, not so much. It's a difficult subject full of controversy and disinfo. Let me check something out here. That's interesting. Lee, why would you ask a question about the rods when you've publicly stated that they're fake and you don't believe them? Does Brian have a benevolent manta? A benevolent manta? Does Brian have a benevolent entity helping him? Yes. Will I get the job I'm pursuing? Stranger days. Yes. Should you take the job? It says no, but what do you think? Should I practice Vedic astrology? Why wouldn't you? Should Christine Combs practice Vedic astrology? Yeah, but think it over. Am I a reptilian? Is Jeff a reptilian? Is Cold Square 7 a reptilian? No. Is the moon part of soul farms as it orbits Earth? No. All divination work is spiritually enlightening. I agree. We've been on here a long time. I just worry about binaural beats being putting information into your mind, bypassing your cognitive abilities to block it. That's all I'm saying. Thor Anderson, the Hebrew name for the snake in the Garden of Eden, actually means a two-legged, standing upright humanoid reptilian. I'm not sure if Thor is quoting me or not, but he's right. Talked about that on Coast to Coast last Thursday. I was on with George for 2 hours. It's a good show. I mean, even if you only subscribe to Coast Insider for 1 day to listen to the show, download it, it's worth it. It was a good show. My grandmother passed away 4 years ago. Before he went, he buried $1,000 trying to meditate on it. Spend $36. Get yourself some of these. Like if I say right now, where's the cat? And there he is. If I say right now, where's the whiteboard? There it is. I found my keys. I found my wallet. I found the cat. He likes to hide sometimes. And they will do it. They will show you. Will they shut down the? The job's okay. Is Brian from Mars? Is Brian from Mars? Is Brian from Mars? I don't know what happens when they do that. Undetermined. That's up to you, Rune. Rocker Chick. Didn't we already ask that? Is Rocker Chick from Mars? Kind of, sort of. Will they shut down the internet? No. I have trouble meditating. Wine wanders off. So you know what you need to do, Amanda? You need to meditate more. It's just that simple. I don't think she understands this is when we're done. I can't get my dude that's freaking awesome. I didn't know rods could do that. They can. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It was great being with you today. I appreciate every one of you being here. Rex Bear from Leak Project jumped in. Rex, I can't wait to meet you on Sunday. Rex Bear will be the keynote speaker, ladies and gentlemen. Let me show you this one more time since Rex is here. Rex will be the keynote speaker for this great event right here. And this will be on, let me make sure I'm sharing. This is on this coming Sunday. Rex Bear is the keynote speaker for this event right here. Dan of Overwatch Channel will kick things off. Then Jenny Moonstone will have a presentation. Then Heidi Vandenberg will have a presentation. We'll have a round table where everybody takes questions and gives answers. Then this guy's going to talk. And then the man, the myth, the legend, the way of life, the eater of grandma's sandwiches, Rex Bear, Lord of all that is YouTube, will be there and be dispensing his priceless wisdom. And I don't think grandma's coming. I just think Rex will be there. But Rex, so glad to have you. So excited that you're going to be there. Can't wait to hear what you have to offer. And I heard a rumor. I heard a rumor that there might be 2 other special guests that are going to show up as well. So it's just a rumor. I cannot confirm, but I heard that there might be 2 other special guests as well that are going to show up at the event. So it's going to be awesome. Get your ass to Mars, says Rex Bear. Made a mistake. Listen to binaural beats. It's possible, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit pessimistic. Are chemtrails poisoning us? Do we really need the rods to tell us that chemtrails are poisoning us? Brian, there's no way in the world I would ask that question unless someone said, this is Brian's wife. Please answer this question. Somebody says, does Brian's wife have a negative entity pushing her buttons? I'm not touching that one, Brian. I'm sorry. Appreciate you, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. Good night. Thanks for another show. Do the Egyptian gods reside on Sirius B? Hold on, Rooney. Do the Egyptian gods reside on Sirius B? No. Should I change jobs? Thanks, Jeff. Maybe you could ask the rods about binaural beats. Well, I think they can be both, good and bad. Leak Project. Excellent. One of my favorite places to go. One of my favorite things to listen to. Bing bong, he says. Good. Buy some rods. They're good for you. The duck shape. Hey, listen. Back off the chair. Trying not to, take care, Rex, trying not to drop to my knees in prayer. Why are you still praying would be my question. That's just me. Our walk-ins on Sunday. I'm not sure. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Kent Nichols on his way from Calgary, Alberta, Canada to Clearwater, Florida. He's in Memphis doing some karaoke tonight. That's legit. Drive safe. Keep it between the white lines. We'll see you on Sunday. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up this episode of Broadcast Excellence. Yeah, don't pray, period. I agree, Deanne. We're not here to tell you what to think. We're here to bring you to some objective information, and you can decide if you want to think. We're not here to make you drink. We're here to bring you to some water, and you can decide if you want to drink. Mark Twain said it's a lot easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. Trying to get you to guide your own spirit, master your own ascension, be your own guru, trying to encourage you to ask questions and question answers. And I do salute every one of you that are here, because if you're here, there's only one reason. That's because you're trying to unindoctrinate yourself.